We're ready to roll? All right. Well, here we are. I hope everybody's maintaining. Washing hands, doing all their things. I appreciate it. So we'll be at it for however long. I'll take your questions and we're rolling. So I hope people are maintaining, having some fun, doing some things they normally wouldn't do. I'm sure they're getting caught up on Netflix or anything, but we're just going to proceed on here. So this is a little different for me. My kids just got me all set up and ready to go. So I guess I'm rolling. So I got a few questions here, and let's see here. Owen in Welland on Facebook asks, how have you been keeping busy over the past few weeks? Well, I can say this, and also he wants to know, what have you been asking players to do to stay busy? Well, I'll answer it in reverse order. So first of all, most of the players aren't in town, but the ones that were actively involved until the virus thing hit and we got mandated that we weren't able to be in the building and whatnot. So that was one of the things that was tough on everybody. But as far as the other players, we're just encouraging them to just abide by what everybody's asking us to do. Just, the cool thing about football is you're a team. And so when you're a team, you're used to following directions and being all together and all for one. So just encouraging the players to spend time with their families and do the right thing. And when they can get a workout in, to get a workout in. So we're always focused on controllable factors, and this is one of those things that's uncontrollable. So from that standpoint, yeah, we're just rolling and staying encouraging and positive, and just really letting them know that they can talk to us or any of the coaches at any time. All right, so hopefully that, as far as me keeping busy, 3 daughters, the wife, the house has never been cleaner. We got this thing spick and span. I'm on puzzle number 2, challenging myself, or we're challenging ourselves with this 1,000-piece black and white puzzle. It's very frustrating, very humbling, but we're having fun with it. Playing Monopoly, we're playing Wizard, we're a board game family. We're putting the kids in charge of, each one of them has a meal that they have to prepare. I could go on and on. You guys are probably getting bored of that though. So that's really what's been happening here. We got people dropping groceries off, ringing the doorbell, and taking off. It's been awesome. Everybody's working together. So enough on that. I'll move on. Let's see here. Lucas on Facebook asks, why is it important to have both Jeremiah Mazzoli and Dane Evans under contract for the 2020 season? That's a popular question, and I would just answer it like this, that we're always looking for competition at every position, and fortunately for us, we had Dane in the fold, so it could have been reversed. And you could have asked, why was it important to sign Dane back when you already had a proven quarterback like Jeremiah Mazzoli? And everybody's one play away, but when you have the most important position on the football field in a quarterback, I think that it's imperative that you surround yourself with as many great players as possible. Dane filled in and did an outstanding job for us. Jeremiah's proven, and I know he's looking forward to coming back. So your question was, why is it important? I think it speaks for itself. I think that you just never know when you're going to need one. I'm looking forward to the competition at camp. That's going to be fun to watch. And the main thing is we want Jeremiah to get fully healed, fully healthy, and ready to go, so that it gives him the best chance, which will give us the best chance. But we think we have 2 very good quarterbacks. So we love our young guys. Our personnel department's worked hard to bring in some other competition. We've signed David Watford back, who came in and did an outstanding job for us in our short yardage package. So we're excited that he wanted to be part of the Hamilton Tiger Cats again. And, as for, I think a lot of teams would love to be in our situation to have both Jeremiah and Dane or quarterbacks of that caliber. I think that's always what you're striving for. All right, with that being said, a little parched. We'll keep it moving here. Let's see. Matthew asks, what's the key to having a successful football team like you guys did this past season? Well, I hope everybody's sitting down. This could be a long one. First of all, success is a tough word for me, just because I feel like that you can give it your all sometimes in all kind of different areas, and that doesn't mean that you're not successful. I do think you're referring to some of the achievements that we had, the 15-3, being 9-0 at home and those things. There's so much that goes into it, Matthew. It really starts with it's a whole collective effort. Man, I just don't even know where to jump in. It starts with building a culture, and it starts with having a winning mindset and those type of things. It's spending time on those things. It's just not all about X's and O's, and I know that's what people see on any given day that we play, that 3 hours, that it's about the X's and O's, and it's always a game of execution. But being successful and having a high achievement rate really is about the people you surround yourself with. It's preparing for adversity and your adversity responses and those type of things. It's how you construct your meeting, how you carry yourself around the building. There's just how you practice, what you put up with, what you tolerate. Sometimes it's about injuries. If you want to get into the football part of it, it's a lot. Sometimes you got to be a little bit lucky. You got to be healthy. I think being healthy at the end of the year is huge, and those sort of things. That way you're able to work through some of those kinks and that sort of thing. So I can't, again, I would have to just sit here and go on and on for about an hour, but there's so much from the personnel department to, you got to have ownership and a president and that are committed to winning. You've got to have capable coaches that are experts in their field, that are great teachers. You got to have players that want to be here and buy in. Am I boring you yet? All right. You kind of get the picture that it's a collective effort, and I continue to make it an emphasis to surround ourselves with great people, not good people. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Oski Eddie on Twitter wants to know, could we see a national starting at left tackle? I can tell you this, Oski Eddie, I can tell you this, that we're going to put the best 12 to give us the best opportunity to win. And if that happens to be a national, then that's what we'll do. That would definitely give us some ratio flexibility. However, we have a returning player in Tate. We have some nice people in the pipeline that our personnel department has worked hard at filling that in. So we're looking at some good, healthy competition. Riker came in and did a great job for us, and he's worked himself up to an elite level. So we obviously wish him the best and appreciate what Riker Matthews did for our organization. But when Riker took over, he got an opportunity. So anytime somebody leaves, that gives an opportunity for somebody else. Directly, you're saying, could it be a national? I'd never say no to that. I think we are about competition and the best person for our team, the right fit. And so we'll look forward to that competition at camp. So we'll leave it at that for now. All right, let's keep it moving. I feel like I should be walking around or something, or is there a push-up break, or how does this work? I need my kids in here to show me. I barely got this thing rolling. All right, I see a lot of hearts on the right. Does that mean it's good, or only if they're red that means it's good? I don't know. Anyways, we'll keep it moving. Taylor Martin asks, how are you mentally preparing your guys for this season? With the Grey Cup loss, why'd you have to bring it up? Are you using that as motivation for this upcoming season? I think. Oh, sorry, my daughter opened the door on me. Okay, so let me repeat that. It says, how are you mentally preparing your guys for this season? With the Grey Cup loss, are you using that as motivation for the upcoming season? Hey, listen, we understand there's one goal, and it's very disappointing in the Grey Cup loss. That was one of those things that was... I'm over it, but at the time, I mean, it stings. I mean, that's what you work all those hours and tireless things for. So I'm preparing, mentally. Again, we're not around the players a ton in the off season. It's just basic communication every now and again via Zoom or those sort of things. And the coaches are in consistent contact. And the big thing is that it's over. There's not a lot we can do about the past, but we can learn from it and take the positives and move forward and see what kind of carryover we're going to have for 2020. Because just because you had success in one year doesn't mean that you necessarily are going to have it in another. So I think we have the right mindset. We're ready to grind from day one, whenever that day comes, and move it forward. So the mindset is going to be that it's 2020. It's a new season. Everybody's improved on paper. Everybody has a chance. And the bottom line is there's going to be three teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. So that's just the reality. That's the beauty of our league, and I'm just looking forward to that challenge. So mindset, move on, be the best you can be in the best shape you can be coming into training camp, and be ready to compete. My daughter popped the door open and said that there's some questions. I don't know how to access these questions. I'm not even going to pretend. So I'm just going to keep reading off the ones that have come in until she pops the door back open. Here she comes. Where's the... Okay, let's see. My daughter just gave me a note and said... Okay, so are you going to show me something here? Scroll this.
You see all these questions? I was asking you questions.
Oh, okay. Well, let's scroll up. I'll be live. Okay. Let's see. There's a wave. Hey. And there's another wave. How we doing? Kevin Walker said thumbs up. Let's do thumbs up for Kevin. All right. Here we go. I'll ask some of these questions. Stickle04 says, are you going to constantly rotate the amazing linebacker core you guys built? You know what? It's going to be up to them, not the coaches. It's how they come into camp. We are fired up to have Larry Dean back. That is no slight to Tuggle, who stepped in to a full-time middle linebacker role last year and did an outstanding job for us. He earned a bigger payday, and good for him. We have another familiar face in the building in Larry Dean, and I'm excited, as you can tell, because my teeth are showing. But as far as rotating them, we got a great, again, like I say, we got a great core, but ultimately that'll be up to the players, how they come in and how they compete and how they perform. So we don't anoint positions based on the past. This is a what have you done for me lately business, and so we're looking forward to training camp, and we got an outstanding coach in Robin Ross, and we'll see how that plays out. All right. Oh my, Fat Jesus 2424 said, do you think the season will be delayed? I'm going to stay optimistic, but I have no real comment on that. Do I think so? There's a possibility, but there's also a possibility it'll start on time. All I can tell you is that the Hamilton Tiger Cats will be ready to go whenever that time comes. Red Blacks 2020. Boy, if my mom was here, they'd slap you, calling me Orlando. No, Orlando ain't right. It's Orlondo. But I don't know if you meant that as a joke or not, but if my mom was here, she wouldn't appreciate it. All right, so I say hi. Let's see, what do we got? All right, do you have any updates on players? Wally, what's up, Wally? He says, do you have any updates on players who were injured last season? Like Mazzoli and Fry. Definitely we have updates, and I can tell you that Jeremiah is doing well, and that's a general statement, but he really is. His updates are good. I guess the biggest thing with injuries like that, it's how when you really give it the test when you're out there at practice, it doesn't swell up the next day. We're not in any hurry to rush Jeremiah out there in any way. Fry is built like the top of this table. He's tough. If you asked him, he would have been ready to go, 4 months post-surgery. So they're all on schedule. But again, there's nothing like, you really can't prepare for training camp. You can run and lift and do that, but there's not a player out there who hasn't been sore or anything like that. So some of this is going to be in response to just a consistent pounding day in and day out as to whether they'll be ready. But as far as just the medical reports of that, things are going well. All right, we still got hearts rolling up the screen here. Let's see. Are you concerned about your kicking game? I guess this is in reference to us releasing Liram to go pursue an NFL opportunity. No, not at this point. We have, again, that's why you have a personnel department, and there's other people that can kick and other people that can punt and do those sort of things. So I guess you could say until they're proven in a game or until we see them live with the rush and everything, you'll wonder. But I wouldn't say it's a concern, because based on what we see on tape of the people that we have, and our personnel departments went down there and seen them live, they're doing a great job. So right now there's not a concern in that way. All right, so we'll keep it moving. Oh, here's my kind of question. Who's the fastest coach or personnel on the staff? Oh, I think it depends who you ask. Let's see. Well, now I'm trying to think if anybody on offense can beat me or Mark in a race. I'm sorry, Randy, Melvin, Robin Ross, Jim Barker, Tommy Condell. No disrespect, but I don't think you're beating Mark or I Baines. Butler maybe in the day, but not right now. Once that hip needs to get warmed up before Butler gets going. Let's see. Oh, I think the fastest coach. How could I forget? No offense, Mark. I would like to see us go at it one time, but I think that DJ Harper's our fastest coach. I don't think it's close. And I think the longer we run, the further he distances himself. Personnel, I'll let the personnel answer who's the fastest in the personnel department. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. Who would you start? Here you go. Who would you start at quarterback? Jeremiah Mazzoli or Dane Evans? Both. All right. Rob Hitchcock was the man. You're right. Let's see. Here we go. Hey, Robbie Mack, that's my guy. Old neighbor. Shout out to Rob McNall and his family. All right, I got another wave. Yeah, I'm staying safe. Appreciate it. All right, how much of a blow do you think it was to lose Banks in that game? Hey, when you lose the MOP, MOP is the title anyway. Brandon Banks is the MOP regardless. Anytime you lose an important guy like Brandon, it's tough duty. But that doesn't, listen, that's not why we lost the Grey Cup. It's a big blow, but that's just part of it. Was it a big blow in that game? Absolutely. But it doesn't matter. Find a way to get it done. We didn't get it done. That's enough on that. Got to bounce, coach. See you at the stadium. Oh, okay. See ya. Oh, there's Dennis McKnight, the old O-line coach. Said he's praying for the family. Appreciate you, McKnight. All right, here we go. Positive mindset only. That's how I'm built, Nick. Nick face one. All right. We are going national at running back. The players will decide that. We made a commitment to be national at running back last year. We made a nice addition in Don Jackson this year. And, we're bringing in some other good competition. So I'm looking forward to the competition. Again, we will do what's best for the football team. And that's what I'll say about that. There's another high. Now I'm kind of into this. I get it now. That's real sweet. There's somebody else with a high, Orlando again. Okay, O-R-L-O-N-D-O, Orlando. But my trophies, my ribbons, my plaques, most of them say Orlando, but that's not my name. All right. Hi, Dylan. Webster, 1887. Send me some merch. Okay. I'm doing good. This is our year, coach. I'm all about that. Gabriel Ortiz. Let's go, coach. I'm ready. Hey, thoughts on David Unger as a wide receiver? Hey, I think that his growth was awesome. And there's a reason that we drafted him, and I think that he had to adjust to the CFL game a little bit, a lot of the people that played down in the States do. But you talk about an outstanding person and individual with a great skill set. The one catch that just popped in my mind right away was David Watford to Unger down the sideline. A nice fade route right in front of our bench that helped us beat Toronto the third time. That was a special catch. But I think he's a hard worker. I'm looking forward to see how he responds and what kind of an off season he had. And I think the ceiling's really high for David. All right. I don't know if you saw my question when it comes to social media. Oh, great. Thanks. My name's Dylan from Thunder Bay in Ontario. This is a long question. Oh. Uh-oh. There we go. Erlington's health. Hey, he's in there. Hey, when I went into the office before all this happened, whenever I peek my head in there, there's Sean Thomas Erlington stretching, working out with Ike consistently. He's committed to being the best player he can be, which only bodes well for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Again, I'm smiling because what a great guy. What a great guy. Fortunate to have him. Unfortunate injury. And looking forward to see, first of all, we want him healthy. So we're not going to rush him back. Whenever he's ready, then we'll be ready. All right. All right, let's see. Who's this kid? Not sure. I guess those hearts are good. Are green hearts good? I don't know. Anyways. No, it's not June yet. Sorry. Those are easy questions. All right. How does someone go about getting it? Oh, boy. I wasn't ready for some of these. What up? Somebody said, what up, coach? All right, let's go to, let me see. What's this? Is Speedy B the fastest in the league? I wouldn't challenge that point. Thoughts on bringing in Don Jackson? I think I touched on it a little bit. Dynamic player. He's a dynamic player who it just brings us something that we haven't had here in a while here in Hamilton. At least not since my time. We've had some great backs, so it's not a comparison thing. This is just a different skill set that Don brings in. So we're excited. I mean, I think the biggest thing is Don wanted to be here. That's what excites me. There was a lot of free agents, and some of them, everybody can't get a raise. We can't pay everybody. And when you get people that want to be here, that bodes well for us. But his skill sets speak for themselves. Oops. All right. Let's see here. I'm glad you love the Tiger Cats. There's a jerk. He wants to say go Riders. Why would you say go Riders when I'm on here? What happened to Willie Jefferson? He went to Winnipeg. We brought him in for a visit. That's the part of the deal. That's it. Let's see. Hey, Gabriel Ortiz, what do you know about that PVR mindset? Okay, I don't know how I got this. All right, everybody doing good? Everybody need a break? You tired of hearing me? No? Okay, we'll keep going. What were you able to learn from Fresno that you brought back to Hamilton? Well, in Fresno, we went to a football team that had won one game. They were 1-10 or 11 the year before I got there, and they had only won 2 games, I think, the year before that. So what I was really able to learn is just how Jeff Tedford wanted to turn that organization around, that university. And being at his alma mater there, and he played there. It was a special opportunity. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there, and don't get me wrong, winning is fun. Winning 10 games. They hadn't won 10 games in I don't know how many years, and going to the Hawaii Bowl and beating Houston, that was a thrill. I think what I learned is if you wanted something quick and they were going to cut this off right now, I'd say details. This is details is what I would emphasize. Sorry for the pause there. I just got a text message that dropped down. So I would say that details and to keep pushing the envelope. Like there's times when I thought, wow, we're pushing too hard here. And what Jeff taught me was that there's always more to give. And that's not just players, but coaches also. So I just wanted to bring that mindset back. Some of it was right in line with my vision and my perspective on ball. So bringing some of that stuff back, going down there really, it really helped me say that I was still on the right track, in my overall view. I was always just in charge of the defense, but when you're talking about being in charge of a whole organization or a whole university, a football team, there's more involved. So I was able to bring just those things back. That's a long-winded, there you go. Keep the hearts flowing. I like the hearts, I think. Oh, dang. All right, I'll keep moving. Do you think it would be fun to see exhibition games between the CFL and the NFL? Yeah, I'd have fun with it. Shoot, come up here and play CFL rules. I think that'd be the biggest thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Do I think it'll ever happen? Never is a long time, but it's probably not on the front burner. Thoughts on bringing in Patrick Levels? Well, you know how we're built in a steel town, Hamilton tough. I think Patrick Levels is a tough football player. We emphasize being competitive. Just turn his film on. I think he's a competitive person. I'm looking forward to him competing and trying to earn a starting spot. I don't think that this is a guy who shies away from competition. I think he is he's really what I'm instructing and we are instructing as a staff for the personnel department to go out and get us, and that's competitive people. And he fits that mold. So we'll see how he fits in and that sort of thing. I don't see it being a challenge in any way. And speaking with him, he's excited to be here. Another signing that's excited to be here, and which makes me excited. So can you tell? All right. Will you guys kill the Argos again? Well, kill is a strong word. I'll settle for winning the football game each time we play them. How's that? Now, if you ask them, they're going to have something else to say, but that's what the QEW rivalry is about. Okay. All right. Thanks for the update on Arlington. No problem. Okay. Good. You love the Ticats. Name was misspelled on the CFL Coach of the Year trophy also. Well, speaking of that, here's a fun story. Well, not real fun, but it broke. Yeah, I was in a cab on the way home from the awards ceremony, and it broke. So I don't know what kind of Gorilla Glue or lack of that they were using, but to their credit, they resent it. And as I understand, they resent a new trophy, which was great. And I think that I wasn't the only one whose trophy came apart. Now, I know your point was that it was misspelled, but it just made me think it broke. That was a bigger challenge than the misspelling. Is this the best linebacking core you've seen on college or the CFL? Well, best, I'm sure every coach thinks that they have the best linebacking core. I'm not really concerned, to be honest with you, about having the best. I'm trying to see how much we can play collectively, because football is a team game. So collectively, I hope that they can gel, because it's going to be a new set of backers, right? It's easy to say that, well, we plugged in this piece and we plugged in this piece and that piece. And so it's going to be better. But that remains to be seen, right? So we'll have likely two different people there on either side, and we'll see how they gel. Bring Larry back and Levels. Okay, we've done that. Thank you. Adrian Tracy is now a Montreal Alouette, but Adrian was a big part of us being where we're at today. I was fortunate to coach Adrian for 4 years, or maybe 3 years when I was the D coordinator here before. He had a tough bout with injuries over the past couple years, and so we wish him the best. And so now he's part of the competition. How is it working with Chris Manzo? Chris, I don't want to pump his tires up too much, but he's an outstanding person. This is the second time I've had an opportunity to work with Chris, also in Toronto. Professional, a guy who wanted to be here, which is awesome, and fit right in, and couldn't be happier, really. Just looking forward, like he's found a fountain of youth, doesn't seem to age, and that's great news for us. So working with him is a pleasure. That was a big heart. How did you get? Somebody gave me a big heart over there. A lot of small ones. Okay, here we go. Advice to me personally to get to your level. Well, I don't know if we're talking about as a coach or as a player, but I would just say, in life, I would just say find what your passion is and just work hard at it. I could go on. I could hold a whole seminar here on life coaching and things. That's my other passion. As you know, my passion is people. But my advice to you is if it's the coaching portion, then just get in and coach. I remember coaching my daughter's basketball team, which is another passion of mine. And we coached Kiana for, I think, about 4 or 5 years. We even coached, my wife coached Raina and Taya, our youngest daughters. And coaching is coaching, right? And it's affecting lives and people. And so I would say get in and do that and make sure you're involved in it and keep plugging away. Do you think Brandon is big enough for the NFL? Brandon Banks, I assume we're talking about here. Or are we talking about Brandon Revenberg? So Speedy's already been to the NFL, so I don't put limits on anybody. Thank goodness people didn't put limits on me, because I definitely didn't run the fastest or jump the highest as a player, and somehow was able to parlay that into 12 years. So do I think Brandon is big enough? I wouldn't put limits on Revenberg or Banks. So yes. Most memorable game as a DC or head coach of the Ticats? Memorable game. I would say my first year as the DC, when we were in the Rogers Center, and I think we were down 24-3, maybe 20-3 or something at halftime. And then we took control of the game in the second half. And I think that was my first, I'd been a DC in Toronto as the intern guy, but I think that was huge for me and for our football team. And I remember, I swear it was a home game. The whole stands there on the west side, I think, where it was packed of Hamilton, and that was just a feel good. I wouldn't say that was the most memorable, but it is a memorable thing. Hey, there's a big blue heart. That's cool. As a head coach, I would say the first one was special, beating Saskatchewan in front of our home fans, and then I would say obviously the East Final when we were heading to the Grey Cup. I think that was special for the whole organization and keeping the city abuzz. So I would put those down as huge memories. Free agency so far is good. And I don't know, there may be some other signings, but I think we're good for now. There's a thumb up from Michael. I'll try to get through these questions. Well, I don't want to be a smart you-know-what, but one question here says, where do you see our 7 national starters lining up? On the field. Again, we will determine that. We're going to put our best 7 national players out there and what's going to give us the best opportunity to win in 2020. If that's politically correct or straddling the fence, then call it what you want, but that's the truth. There's another big green heart. All right. With levels being brought in, could Rico Murray be moving to the secondary? Well, we look at our Sam position as a secondary player. Some people label that position as a nickel. We believe in position flexibility in the back end. We believe in that across the board. We feel like the majority of people on our team can play more than one position. And so that's really what I think about that. So is there a possibility that Rico could move? Absolutely. But that will be determined in camp. Again, you can put a lot of pieces in place on paper, but training camp, that's what training camp's for. It's trying to put the athletes in the best position where they're most comfortable and they can play the fastest, and which ultimately will help us. There we go. Now there's another burst. I don't know. Oh, shoot. All right, here we go. Do you think the Atlantic team join in 2021? I don't have the answers to that. I don't want to touch that. I think it'd be healthy for the league to have a 10th team. I think it'd be exciting. And that's what I'll say about that. Hi. All right, Luke Tasker. I'm getting a lot of Luke Tasker. Is he going to remain? So right now, Luke is a free agent. Not sure which direction we're going to head with that right now. We had a great conversation with Luke. Luke's one of my favorite people, first of all, and his family. And he's an outstanding football player. Luke's battled some injuries, and so I would never rule out Luke and say that he won't be a Tiger Cat. I can only tell you that at this time, obviously he's not. So that's what I'll say about that right now. So I don't have an answer if he's going to remain a Tiger Cat or not. But I would never rule something like that out as, training camp and everything else. And Luke's one of those veteran players that I don't imagine will remain on the street. I think Luke is a lot bigger than just football. He's going to go somewhere where there's the best fit for him and his family, and I respect that a ton. What player was your biggest influence as a kid? Well, growing up, I was a Seattle Seahawks fan, so back in the days of the Kingdome. And I know that some of you are going to have to Google what the heck a Kingdome is. Well, it's not a thing. It was a building that we played in. It's where the Wave started. Maybe we can get the Wave going. Can we get the Wave going in Hamilton? I know we're on two sides, but a kid from Seattle, like a football game, I think they had it going at Husky Stadium, and they don't have a bowl. I think we should get the Wave going in Hamilton. Can somebody spearhead that? It's just one side to get going. I don't know. We go lower bowl, high bowl, low. I don't know how it works. That's not my area of expertise. But I know that a kid from Seattle, I think we should get the Wave going in Hamilton. Let's start that craze in the CFL. All right, can we get that done? Whoever wants to take the lead on that, maybe Pigskin Pete can get the Wave going in Seattle. Back to your question. I was a Kurt Warner fan. He was a running back out of Penn State. I was a huge Kenny Easley fan. Kenny Easley was an enforcer. Number 45 for the Seattle Seahawks. YouTube him. He was dominant. So those were big influence as far as that scene. As far as in life, I didn't have a father growing up, so my coaches were influences, but my grandfather would probably be the number one influence as far as a male figure. My mom was amazing, and I won't get into all that, but my mom was an amazing person. She was strong, a single mom. She had me at 19 years old. But so I had a lot of positive influences in me as a kid. I know there's a lot of proud people. Moving on. Coaching skills amazing. Let's keep reading that one. Okay, anyways. All right. Trying. Oh, somebody said, Coach, we're not letting NFL teams in our league. I wasn't trying to let them in. I thought somebody just said a preseason game or something. We won't want them in our league. Thoughts on Larry Dean? Come on. LD? Excited. We're fortunate to be able to get an opportunity to have Larry Dean back. And it doesn't always work out how you want. But the timing was awesome for both. And I know, again, there's another guy who is excited. When I talked to Larry on the phone, he's fired up. And what a great surprise it's going to be for people who haven't shared a locker room or a building with Larry Dean. I know our personnel department and players alike that have been around are excited to have Larry back in the building. There's somebody. All right, what do we got? No, there won't be any tryouts here in the near future, I'll tell you that. Again, I'm not is the season in jeopardy? I don't have any comment on that. That's for Randy Ambrosi and those people. Again, I touched on the Luke Tasker deal. Jalen Acklin really stepped up. Is there a bigger role for him? Hey, there's a big role for anybody who starts for us on the football team. We're super proud of Acklin, and I think he's one of the. I don't know if he missed a practice. If he did, it wasn't many, and I don't think he missed a game. Him and both Tucker did a great job for us. And so as far as a bigger role, the players determine that. The coaches don't always determine it. I know Tommy Condell is best in the business, and he's gonna put players in the best position, and we're always in conversation, and our offensive staff does a great job. So I'm not going to say that there is or there isn't. I'm going to say that sometimes the role is game to game. Their game, we're going to need him to catch 8 balls. There's going to be games where we need him to make a key block. That's what's exciting about Acklin. He's an awesome person. So I would expect that he's going to expect bigger things of himself, and we'll expect him to make timely plays consistently. Yeah, Dion wasn't a bad player. I had posters of Dion, but that's not when I was a little kid. There was somebody here that put in Dion. Coach, do you think you have a good shot at making the Grey Cup? How about yes? Okay. I'd say that any year, by the way. I just started playing football for Brantford Bison. Do you have any tips for the new season? For you, have fun. Have fun. That's what it's about. Have fun. Appreciate it. Somebody made a comment here about the awards show and bringing in the whole team. I think it was important, and it wasn't about me. There was other teammates there, and I thought it was important that they support them. So I was, and as far as my award, I was humbled, but I was excited to accept that award because I was accepting it on behalf of the whole organization and all the hard work that they put in. They put one name on that trophy, but I'd like to change it to coaches and personnel and presidents and owners and therapists of the year. That's really what that trophy's about. I talked about Rico. Coach O, yeah, that's me. Dom Alford said. Lots of respect for Pinball. It'll be exciting to go up against him again. What, is he the head coach? Again? Pin? He's not the head coach down there. Yeah, I hear you. What went wrong in the Grey Cup is they executed and they played like champions on that day. The fine fixtures and details, everybody's going to have an opinion. I don't dance around it. I hit it head on. And I'm just going to say that they played better than we did. They beat us one time. We beat them 2 times. We chose the wrong time to not play our best. To be champions, you got to play like champions. Larry Dean. Thoughts on Simone? Simone is Simone. He embodies what Hamilton Tiger Cat football is about. He's a Ticat through and through. Super proud of him. Love that guy, as I do all of our players. Simone, we acquired in a trade. I saw a wiry number 48 for Edmonton that was playing special teams and on some nickel situations. And I just saw him as an every down player. You want people that are self-motivated and have a passion for the game. He's that. And like I said, we look for competitive people. Simone's competitive. Did I have a specific game day meal as a player? I really didn't. I really didn't have any. I just kind of went with the flow. I mean, sometimes I thought I was a fruit guy, and sometimes I was a burrito guy. Sometimes I was protein shakes. I wasn't really a superstitious guy. I was a little more conscious of meals before the game, the night before, but game day, I always erred on the side of not eating enough because I always thought I could fuel up with a protein bar or something like that. I didn't want to be sluggish out there, so I was always a little bit cautious on eating too much. LeBron or Jordan? See, it was Michael or Magic when I was in the locker room. That's I'm dating myself. Well, that's going to open a whole nother can. I think you can win multiple championships with either one of them. LeBron's a different player than Jordan. I'm going to go with Jordan, but that's more my generation. But if you gave me LeBron, I wouldn't be crying. Appreciate that. Little hoop question. I'm a hooper. Sometimes. If I could coach any other pro sport, what would it be? Basketball. I just started playing football. I already answered that. Thumbs up. Whole bunch of hearts over there. I appreciate it if that's a good thing on this thing. All right. Yeah, the goal's always to win the Grey Cup. Absolutely. I talked about Mazzoli and Evans. I think we're fortunate. I'm fired up. Where is Kalinic? I don't know where Kalinic is. I have not I haven't spoken to Nick this offseason, but what a hey, you talk about competitive and tough as this table. He's about as tough as they come. I hope he's doing well, and I know the coaches have been in contact with him. I hope everybody's inside. I should probably do this with everybody. Catching this thing? Okay, I'll keep going. What, I got another 12 minutes? Much love. My boy Deke used to say top left. Okay. Let's see. Oski Wee Wee. That's right. Oski Wee Wee, baby. I'll start the wave. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Get that thing going. Why not? Let's make that our thing. How driven are you guys to get back to the Grey Cup, given last year's result? I'd be driven to get back to the Grey Cup if we would have won that game. T. Stocky Dine. That's what I would, I just love the game. I love the competition, but I love the people. I love football. I love my job. This is a great thing. So if individuals want to use the Grey Cup and falling a little bit short as their motivation, I'm not going to tell people, what should motivate them or not. But I want to be the best we can be in 2020. And right now, we don't know. Everybody's improved on paper, and everybody's optimistic that they're going to win. The records are 0-0. The first playoff berth probably won't be clinched till around week maybe 13, 14, 15. I don't know. And the last team probably won't be eliminated until team 17. So our first goal is going to be to win our first football game. And then as those things compound, then it's going to be to host a playoff game or get in the playoffs, and then hopefully to host a game. And then the goal is always to win. So, how driven? That high. Does it look like Daly will be in the starting lineup? The players will ultimately decide who starts. I'm happy that Daly came back. What a great story. Somebody should do a story on Daly. That's a guy right there. He embodies Hamilton. It's been a pleasure to coach Mike throughout his career. Steve Largent for you. I just watched a Football Life on Steve Largent. That guy, everybody needs to check out Steve Largent's hit on, I think it was Harden from the Broncos. Harden gave it to him real good one time, and then Harden picked off a pass, and Steve Largent came out like a free safety out of left field, and wow, it's worth a look. Steve Largent hit on the Denver Bronco. I think it was Harden. Thoughts on Justin Herdman-Reed? Shoot, thought he's a competitor. That's why we acquired him. He's on tape out there competing. Think he's going to fit in nicely with us. In Banks we trust. Okay. Carrie Swan 2 said, "Go Mom." Okay, we're going. Add me to live, please. I don't even know. Sorry. Yeah, Terrell Sutton, how do you feel about him leaving the team after such a big role last year? Well, shoot, that guy is tough, Hamilton tough. I thoroughly enjoyed not having to watch our defense try to tackle him. As the defensive coordinator, he's a tough out. I'm telling you, that guy right there is built low to the ground. He loves to play. Montreal got a good one. I think he is settled in Montreal, so that's a nice fit for him and his family, and we appreciate what he did for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. But again, we're excited about the players that we have coming in. What's up? Corey Blair, Double One, Snake Eyes says, "Who did you learn the most from up here about coaching in the CFL? Stubler, Matthews, Austin? I'm sure your list is long, but I feel like our defense has a big Stubler feel." I would say that I was around Rich Stubler the most, and we had some dominant defenses. I can still remember the one stat that I can remember is I think it's around 15.9 or 15.3 points per game. I'm not sure that that's been eclipsed at all since we played. I'm not sure exactly what year we did that, but now I know all the analytics people and stats people are going to look that up, so I hope that's accurate. But we put together some dominant defenses there, and I think there is some Stubler feel to it. I think we got some plays that we run on defense that Don Matthews invented, basically. Don Sutherland, Sudsy, was really my first person that taught me the game up here and really taught me how to think like an offense. But I would say that I'm a mixture of everybody, even Gary Echeverry. When you talk about coloring outside the lines and not being afraid to try different things, I think Gary Echeverry epitomizes that. So I think I have a little bit of everybody in me, and then with my own twist on it. So I'm appreciative to all of them, along the way, because you do grab a little bit of nugget. You grab a nugget from everybody. Must not have been poor for too long. Well, you stay healthy also. Appreciate that. All right. V Dark. What free agent that you signed surprised you the most by signing with the Cats? Who didn't you think you could sign that you ended up signing? Whew, boy. Well, you never know how free agency is going to go. Sometimes I think that, we have somebody wrapped up and we didn't. There was a couple people we wanted to get and we thought that we had them and we didn't. And, at the end of the day, we want people that want to be here. But it's got to make sense to us. You're not able to re-sign everybody because, some people are getting raises. Some people you have to let go in order to pay people. That's just the reality of the business that we live in. I wouldn't say that I'm surprised at anybody because I feel like, I like our product. I like our product and what we bring to the table. And am very confident in what we can, not just football-wise, though. I love our people and our building. From top to bottom, inside and out. I like the feel, I like the energy, and so I think that we're giving a lot to the people that want to be a part of what we're doing. But we're only as good as the people that we surround ourselves with. So I'm not sure that there's any huge surprisings. And the chips fall where they do when it comes to free agency. It's almost like a draft sometimes. You play for the Junior Tiger Cats? Keep it up. Yeah, as of right now, again, I touched on this. The kicking game will be addressed in training camp, and we'll put whoever gives us the best chance to win at punting and kicking and then we'll go from there. Right? We're gonna kick the ball off. We're gonna be competitive. We're gonna do our best, and that's what you can take that to the bank. All right, we got a little bit of time left here. 4 more minutes. Shout out to my mom. What's up, Mom? Sure. Gordy said, can you give a shout out to my mom? Shout out. Any workout tips? I want to start getting into shape and hopefully join a sports team. Yeah, my encouragement to you is to start. Got to have an action plan. A goal without action is just that, a goal. That's all I got for that. Hey, Ralph, what's up? Miss you too, buddy. Soon enough. Nah, I'm not sure we'll be in the Antonio Brown sweepstakes. Hell of a player, though. I always think we're going to win. Best household objects to use for working out depends how strong you are and how much trouble you want to get into or how many repairs you want to do. So, it depends on the exercise. I'll just leave it at that. Everybody wants to know about the kicking game. So do I. That's why you have training camp. We'll see. There's nothing to say that Laram won't be back. We'll see how it plays out. Hope he wants to be back. Let's see. Nothing around here to do cleans with. Nah, you can't do probably power cleans, but you can clean the house. That's what you can do. I've touched on the quarterback. Pre-game rituals, relax. It's different from game to game. Different from game to game for me. I try not to get out to the field too soon because I'll drain myself. So I get excited. I get just as excited as I did when I was a player, except for I have less control over the game. That's the difference. A good Ron Lancaster story? Oh, I just used to remember Ron Lancaster he was a disciplinarian. They called him the Little General, and I don't have a story. I'll just give you an example of he would always. He was on time. That no man left behind stuff. Not with Ron. He'll leave you behind. If it was time to leave at 3:00, we left at 3:00. When practice started at 1:00, it was time at 1. But he'd be over there smoking his cigarette and holding it like this, like he was hiding it. He wasn't hiding anything, and he'd look at his watch, and as soon as that thing hit 1:00, boom, he'd flick it out, and it was time to start practice. So that was what Ron was about. I could talk Ron Lancaster stories all day, but man, I know he's smiling down, but I was so fortunate to be coached by him. 1:56 remaining. I miss Ron. I wish he was still around. Favorite restaurant in the Hammer? They're popping up all over the place. I don't have a favorite. I enjoy mixing with the locals and hanging out. Sorry, no favorite. Depends on my mood for food too, right? Depends what you're in the mood for. Do you feel we missed out on seeing the greatness in Grant Hill? I'm not sure who that is, to be honest with you. I know who the Hooper is, but I don't know what we're talking about. Did your playbook change when you coached at Fresno State? Absolutely. 4-down football is a little bit different. I had to save some of my exotic stuff for second and third down mostly, sometimes in some cases fourth. You definitely need to not contain the run. You got to stop the run. So, but did it change? No, I was still multiple, and we were shotgun spraying people, if you will, like people blitzing from every angle. But then we were conservative. We did whatever we had to do to win the game. So 43 seconds. I know you guys are tired of listening to me anyway. So Favorite restaurant in Hamilton and Burlington? I like Burlington too. Now, Burlington's got some great eateries, and again, it just depends on the mood. Thoughts on Q Ford? Love what I see on tape. And our personnel people, some of them worked in Toronto with him. Hey, I just want to say thank you. Everything happened and stopped quickly. My kids had to come help me. I appreciate it. Oski wee wee. Hey, stay safe, stay the course. We're all on one team when we're battling this thing called life. All right? Everybody have a great day. Bye for now.